And we're live.
All right, cool.
What's going on, guys? We have a very special guest here, Ben Dubard. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, figured he could help me out for my first live stream. Crazy news going on. First of all, Ben, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, please subscribe to my channel, like the video. But yeah, happy to be here.
Crazy day in crypto. It's crazy how things change so quickly. I was gonna rewatch Crypto Banter today with Rand Nooner. I wanted to watch the replay that he had this morning, and it didn't even have the Gemini news in. I'm just thinking, like, if the news is like an hour late, if you're reading it an hour late, it's already too late. What do you think about that?
Dude, it's so true. Like, the space moves so fast. Like a week is like an eternity.
I guess, yeah, it's going to take a long time for this bear market to end the way things. All right, so what's going on? So let's get to the first story, which is Genesis. Have you used Genesis? That's the Winklevi. They're the Winklevoss twins, and Richard calls them the Winklevi twins.
Right. I've never used Genesis. I used to use Gemini some, but.
So you use Gemini. You didn't use Gemini Earn then. So basically, what we have here is Gemini Earn, which is basically Gemini's version of Celsius, was giving a lot of the customer funds to Genesis. And Genesis has paused withdrawals. We could read some of this. Cryptocurrency lender Genesis Global Capital has paused withdrawals and loan applications following the collapse of FTX exchange, per a tweet from Genesis Trading. Says Genesis Global boasts an institutional clientele with over 2.8 billion. And essentially, we don't have to read the whole thing, but Gemini Earn deposited a lot of customer funds, and then conveniently, Gemini said basically we're not really tied to our main exchange. Our regular services are separate from Gemini Earn, and Gemini's fine. Withdrawals are fine. We're backed 1-to-1. Blah, blah, blah. They say here, we are aware of the Genesis Global Capital LLC, lending partner of the Earn program, has paused withdrawals and will not be able to meet customers' redemption within the service level agreement of 5 business days. So they're working with the Genesis team to help redeem their funds from the Earn program as quickly as possible, provide more information. So, yeah, that does not look good. It seems like Gemini Earn has now paused withdrawals, and just conveniently, the Gemini exchange is closed for maintenance. They said it was an Amazon Web Service outage. And it says here, Amazon Web Service app, but their lending partner freezing withdrawals on the same day seems a little suspicious. No GTFO. So what is your take on the situation?
Well, not too surprising. Nothing is surprising anymore. My thought is, what about like Kraken does the same thing? I don't know if it's with Genesis, but they offer yield on crypto. And it's pretty high, like for some of them. So I just wonder what's going to happen there. And yeah, I don't know. It's not. I guess it's a little surprising because Gemini is in New York and they have the strictest laws.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's why I don't keep any money on centralized exchanges, and it's just an on ramp and an off ramp. Get in, get out. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, so with FTX, they said it was similar situation in the sense that FTX said basically the issue with withdrawals is our FTX global, but FTX US is fine. No issues there. And then obviously FTX US also wasn't fine. And I feel like whenever they start saying, oh, it's a little problem, it always ends up getting like so much worse. So do you think that Gemini is going to be the first situation where it was just a small problem and the problem didn't end up getting bigger?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I have no idea. Yeah, I guess probably not. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, at this point, nothing really surprises me. I've seen stuff like people are kind of shooting shots at Binance too. I mean, all these guys, I think they're all, leveraged up. They're all fractionally reserved. So, I mean, honestly, if everyone pulled their money, would any exchange have all the funds? I really doubt it. Like, I don't think they would. So,
But they say
yeah,
they're backed 1-to-1. They say on their Twitter, we're backed 1-to-1.
yeah,
So
exactly. Every time it's like every time they say that, it's like a few days later, they're like, "Oh, sorry guys, like breaking news."
it's
We're
always just like, I don't know. I get really scared when they say these kinds of things, because like it's never like what they say is the issue always ends up just being the tip of the iceberg. Like, has there ever been a situation where they're like, no, it's just this issue with the withdrawals. We're having problem with our web service, and then the web service gets fixed, and then completely solvent company?
It's just it's a clown show, man, and we got front row seats, and we're all hopefully self custodied, and I, it's crazy, and it sucks for people who have their money on the exchange. But you're right; it's like you can't trust these guys. They come out and say one thing, and then 5 days later, it's a new thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys are like, "We had no exposure to Luna." Oh, luckily we're okay, guys, and everyone's like, "Haha, yeah." They're like, "Oh shit!" Like a few days later. So, and now it's happening with FTX. All these guys are suddenly like, "Oh, were you actually like you kind of lost your money? What's the Trayvon thing? You didn't lose your money, okay? Technically, you kind of lost your money."
It's crazy. Do you think that it is possible the Winklevoss twins will become the new Sam Bankman-Frieds?
I don't know. I don't know. I've read the Bitcoin Billionaires book about them. I don't know, man. I have no idea. What do you think?
All bets are off now. I just imagine I would have told you what's happening now will happen if I would have told you that like during the bull market, when it seemed like everything seemed so transparent. Like these people were on TV. These people were on TV. How could they be scammers, or like how could they be dishonest? And they say there's an audit. It's just like, does anything carry any merit anymore?
I don't know. The blockchain, man, it doesn't lie. So need a mutable
So
code, whatever. Yeah, I
what
don't know. I've been saying that a lot. Sorry.
what do you think this means for Hex?
I think it makes us look good. I think a lot of people. I thought what was really interesting when Richard was in David Gokhstein's space today. I feel like I'm so used to people ganging up on Richard, but it was actually people ganging up on the hater who was just going after Richard. I don't know if you saw that, but we had, I think his name is Famous, the Hexington, the PH. He was like going on the guy, and then another guy came in. Uh, so yeah, I think people are like waking up, or at least like starting to have a more open mind about Hex. But I think a lot of people still didn't even know who Richard was. They don't know who he is because he's like kind of created his own community, his own following outside of the mainstream crypto space. And so then like people who've only been in the mainstream crypto space, they're like, who is this guy with almost 300,000 followers who's like saying all this straight up truth about crypto? So
Yeah,
I think it's
100%.
good for us overall.
And his following is going parabolic. He's got I think he's at like 286,000. He's getting to 300,000 very, very quickly. I never
Yeah,
seen these numbers move so fast.
yeah.
He's getting into all these Twitter spaces. I think who's the guy with 1 million followers that was in the space with him?
Kim.com.
Yeah, Kim.com
Okay.
tweeted at him, "You were great last night." So that means he's probably going to have him on again. Maybe he'll have him on for
Ooh.
a live stream. it's really making an emergence. I think Hex is starting to make headway into the mainstream narrative, just because it's really the antithesis of everything that's going on. Like if you're in Hex, you're forced to learn self custody. You can't have your money on an exchange if you want to earn yield. You're forced to use a DEX. You're forced to really go balls deep into all the areas of crypto that are important to the principles of crypto, like not your keys, not your coins, and no middlemen and things like that. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. If you just can stake and then not financial advice, blah blah blah, but if like just staking, having it on a hardware wallet, and then like you don't have to do anything. So like guys are kind of attacking Richard in the space. They're like, dude, you're telling people to get in to use DeFi, but there's so many scams, blah 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 blah. But if you just, I don't know, if you just do Hex and stake it, it's like you don't have to interact. You don't have to approve contracts. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff. Like it's pretty straightforward. So, but yeah, Jerry Oaksmith, it is a great opportunity for Richard to update many people's worldview. I agree. And I think he's doing a really good job at it as well. I hope he keeps doing it. I hope he keeps going in these Twitter spaces. I think he's kind of seen how fast his followers shot up that one day, and he's kind of like, oh, okay,
this works.
Yeah, hopefully he'll keep doing it because I love listening to it.
Yeah, and it's great for us because when people in these spaces see him, they search, his projects online and Hex and things like that, and then they are inevitably funneled to our content, which I think is excellent. Another thing that's very interesting is, so during the bull market, everybody was talking about the things that were shady and would go down. And they said Tether would that was actually the narrative, was that was going to bring forward the bear market. And there was Nexo. I remember Nexo was supposed to be the shady lending platform, and everything's down. Let me find this tweet for you. Where is it?
What's up, A-Bit Hex?
Yeah, look at this. Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi, and Genesis all down. Nexo is still there. Tether is still standing.
They're like hiding in the corner. They're like, don't look at us.
What is going on with that? It's never where you think it is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People were paid to promote all these things, I guess. Like, I don't know. They just keep listening to, and then everyone listens to the mainstream, whatever, the mainstream people. So,
yeah,
and it's probably going to happen again. Is the thing, but hopefully a lot of people get saved.
So what? Okay, so they talk about like Hex users unaffected, right? Because obviously they know self custody, they know how to store your coins on a hardware wallet. But what would like the depegging of Tether mean for crypto? Would that go to zero?
Would crypto go to zero, or would Tether go to zero?
Would crypto go to zero?
Man, I don't know. It probably wouldn't be good. I don't know if that would actually happen though. Haven't people been saying that for a long time? Like, oh, Tether's gonna depeg and blah blah blah.
People have been saying that for a long time.
So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've heard I don't know. I'm not an expert on Tether, but I've been hearing a lot of people saying like Tether could freeze all the Tether, and USDC could freeze all the USDC.
Admin keys.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be kind of scary too. That probably wouldn't be good.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I don't see that happening, I guess. Like, it just seems a little crazy.
Hey, I didn't see any of this happening.
Yeah.
It was this is just, I guess, par for the course in crypto. But what do you think this means for regulation?
I don't know, man. I think we're at the peak fear. I think we're getting towards peak fear. It seems like we're all Like, look at us. We're sitting here like, oh shit, is crypto going to zero? So I think that's a telling sign. I think we're like at the moment of like most pain or getting there. I don't know, like regulation. I get what are they going to do? I don't know. It's kind of like what Richard has said, where like the regulation isn't going to save people because like the scam, it's still illegal to scam people or whatever. Like people are going to scam, and then the regulators are going to come in after, say, hey, you broke the law, but like no one gets their money back. So
Well, yeah,
yeah,
they didn't even do that yet. They didn't even do that yet.
yeah, exactly. So I think the cat's out of the bag in terms of crypto. Like I feel like this is the same narrative that's been going on for like 10 years or more. Like, oh, it's dead. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. Oh, they're cracking down now. Oh, they're coming now. And it's like get people to sell crypto at the bottom is what's going on. You know, get people scared. This is the moment where they want people to sell their bag. And it's like Richard was saying in the space today, like they want you to miss the bull run. I don't even know who they is, but in general, anyone who's trying to buy right now, you know, like Richard said, he said, I want you to sell now. I want the plebs to get washed out now. I want the government to sell Bitcoin. I want to so
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. I don't know. I think being here, having friends, being able to talk is a good thing. Because I don't know, it is scary. You can get emotional and be like, oh God. But I think that's almost like it's a good sign that we're getting all this like anxiety.
Yeah, and so here's what I actually wanted to share you a tweet with our good friend Lorenzo.
Dude, oh man, I saw him.
Yo, first of all, he charges $400 a month for his trading group, and he's giving this call out for free. Wow,
man, he said that a few weeks ago. He said the same tweet a few weeks ago. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "What the heck?" Did you see it a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I saw it a few weeks ago, and
Yeah.
between then and now, Bitcoin went down another like 3,000.
I don't know. I have a friend who like pays to get like these like newsletters from guys, and he sent me one. He sent me one a few months ago, or it was like a few weeks ago, and it was like, "All right, guys, time to exit your Solana position." And I was like, "Dude, everything's down like 60-80% right now."
Yeah,
they're telling you to sell now. Like I was like, he was like, "Oh, look, bro, they're looking out for me." I was like, "Dude, I don't know." And then the other day, he was like, they just told me to sell my Crow tokens, man." And I'm like, they probably already sold theirs like way before you. You know, it's just I don't know.
no, the news is always late. So basically, like they would give you all the bad news. They say this exchange is down, this exchange is down, everything's down, everything's going down or is insolvent. You know, we haven't seen the full ripple effect of the FTX collapse. But I'm thinking to myself, like, where were you when Bitcoin was at 68,000? And usually when I go to these people's tweets, they're saying, oh, we just broke resistance. We're headed to 100,000. It's like the time for you to say these things was 8 months ago, was 10 months ago.
Yeah.
It's like everything that has happened that you've heard about, the market already priced it in. Am I saying that we're not going to go lower? No, I'm not saying we're not going to go lower. It's very possible we could go lower. In fact, everyone in the Hex community is calling for the 11K and pray. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But we're already down. I think Bitcoin's down like 83, 84%. It's like everything's already unfolded. And let's say, what do you think Bitcoin's going to go to? Let's say it goes to 11,000 back up. Let's say it goes down to 10,000 back up. Okay, so like, when are you going to buy back in? You think you're going to buy back in on the bottom? That never ends up happening, because this is actually what I said. I said basically a bottom until there is confirmation, right? Until there is a considerable run up, like at least 40-50% in the price from the bottom. It's not a bottom pattern. It's a bear flag. So everybody could just pull up the Hex chart on TradingView. Let's take a look here. TradingView. Basically, Don't trade, guys. How do we search this? Hex. Chart. How do we get the black? Change the colors to black and white.
Try the settings button in the bottom right.
You know what? It's fine. Basically, look at this, right? So you have this is why technical analysis is so stupid. So you have the bear flag, right? It forms confirmation, it pulls down again. Now, right now, what you're seeing people would say is a bear flag, and it's going to pull down again. I'm saying maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if it shoots up, right, let's say to 12 cents, then everyone starts calling bottom. Everyone starts calling bottom. So you buy 12 cents instead of 3 cents. That means that you're buying 75% higher, right? You're buying 75% higher.
Like four times.
4 times higher. That means that your total return during the bull market is going to be 75% less. Meaning, if you would have just dollar cost average at these levels compared to had you waited for that bottom confirmation, you would be having, and none of this is financial advice, but I'm just pointing it out. You would have 75% less returns in comparison. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to time the bottom, no one's going to time the top like perfectly, and it's always like hindsight. It's 2020, it seems.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I wonder. I think Richard said in one stream that November 21st technically could be the day that we have the bottom, because that's like exactly 1 year from the top. So I wonder if in the next 5 days we're going to rip off the Band-Aid and that's going to come true.
But how crazy is it that it's all like, it really, you look at like the FUD going around and everyone's running around like a chicken without a head. But I used to not necessarily be a believer in the 4-year cycle because of the Fed rate hikes, but all the pieces really do seem to be falling into place. Like all this FUD is coinciding with the scheduled bottom in the 4-year cycle, right?
It is funny. And it's like Richard knew there was big players over leveraged. Like maybe he didn't know exactly who, but he was like, he knew enough. He knew enough about how like these exchanges work. He's been in this game long enough. Like he knew something had a high probability of happening that was going to like send price even lower. And all these guys were like, oh, this is a black swan, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't know.
it all seems like it's going according to plan, sort of. I mean, so the cycle breaks. Eventually, it's going to break. But right now, it seems like it's falling. The pieces are falling into place. But I guess we'll have to see. That's the whole thing about technical analysis. It's like I see like some people you see like some of these YouTubers. First of all, are you a believer in technical analysis? It's a question.
I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know. Like, I watch Jenkins, and it's fun to watch it and to speculate and thinking about like the psychology of the market and what it means. But at the end of the day, like, you could have a guy into stake and dump the price like we had. So
and where's that on the chart?
So like trading obviously is just death. Like Almeida and FTX had every possible advantage, but they were leveraged up trading and lost it all, as Richard said in the space today. So, but I find it fun. I find it interesting. It's like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's just funny because it's like, okay, so where on the charts did you see where on the FTT chart did you see that that Alameda Research was leveraging illiquid FTT to take loans and pump up their price, which could lead to a cascade liquidation? Like where was that pattern on the chart?
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, honestly, it's very, in my opinion, not financial advice, very silly. I'm not really a believer. It's also just the only thing that you can see with the chart is like the past price performance. And past performance is never indicative of future results. You know how it goes.
Yeah, there are patterns, I guess, that are similar, and you see them play out or whatever. But I know nothing about about that stuff. I just watch guys who do it, and I find it interesting and like kind of fun.
Yeah, but like the only thing that really matters is it a good project or not? Because the only technical analysis is a good project is going to go up into the right, and a bad one will go down into the left. No, down into the right. I'm sorry. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on. The next news we have on Richard's Twitter space. His Twitter, obviously, I'm sure everyone's following. This is the greatest Twitter account in all of Twitter. So we have Salt Lending, which was Eric Voorhees. Eric Voorhees is one of the Bitcoin OGs. Did you see the rise of Bitcoin?
No, is that like a documentary?
Yeah, great documentary.
What's it on?
I think I saw it on YouTube. I might have had to pay for it, but really good. Point is, Eric Voorhees, he's like, this centralized thing you shilled and were a shareholder of was just suspended. Dear customers, I guess. This is an important update to all account holders in light of recent industry events related to FTX. I am sorry to report that your money's gone. No, it's not funny. That the collapse of FTX, it's really not funny. The collapse of FTX has impacted our business. Until we are able to determine the extent of this impact with specific details that we feel confident are factually accurate, we have paused deposits and withdrawals on the SALT platform effective immediately. While our platform will recognize on-chain deposits, we strongly advise against depositing more funds to your account until we have communicated with you about all of the specifics and can assure you of our plans moving forward. All right. So what's your take on that?
Well, I thought Eric Voorhees was I don't know, I guess I was surprised to see that he was one of the people who did that based off his interview with SBF where he was basically calling him out. I wish him and Eric Voorhees and Richard Hart would do a stream because I know he is like pretty influential in the space and like an OG and stuff. But he owned up to it, I think, in the comments. He was like, "Yeah, I did that."
Yeah,
nice to see. But it's funny, Richard Hart calling out the haters.
Calling out the haters, exactly. And it's like, so this was also Simon Dixon's basically they had an LOI, they had a letter of intent to acquire Salt Lending. So following the Celsius collapse, which Simon was an investor, his fund was an investor of Celsius, and I'm sure it makes sense that he referred his followers there, to earn yield. Basically, when there was a fallout, I remember there was a Twitter space with like the Salt Lending people, and he was basically having them explain why Salt Lending is different and more credible, more integrity. They're not going to lose your funds. And then all of a sudden this happens, and then we have Simon on the Twitter space with Richard basically saying, "Oh, it's people's funds that are lost. We have to be more sensitive, Richard.
Right. Watch your tone.
Watch your tone." Exactly. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who's the one that created this mess? And obviously Simon is he's lost a lot of money. He did not scam people, but he did lead the sheep there, sort of thing. And there was someone else who was saying, not your keys, not your coins, pennies in front of freight trains. And then to see the guy that was leading everybody to these institutions that inevitably ended up losing everyone's money, calling out the guy that was trying to save everyone, seems a little bit rich. The hypocrisy seems a little bit rich. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he's probably compensating. He probably feels, I assume he feels bad about it. And so it's like he's doing everything he can to like be the good guy, I guess. Like, and he's probably hurting too. So it's probably like, Richard, I don't know. But I agree with you. It's a bit ironic.
Yeah, no, but my question is like, why does everyone like, it's like Simon Dixon steps forward after the Celsius thing, and he has the plan, he has the answers. It's like, bro, you messed up. And I guess it's good that he's trying to like patch it up and make it whole, so to speak. But like, why is he the one that everyone's turning to? And now I hear him talking about how we could solve this issue. We could have like more government oversight and things like that. It's like, why should you be the guy we listen to? Like, get people's money back. And
because he wears glasses, bro.
he wears the glasses.
He wears glasses. He's a smart guy. You know, that's all you need to know.
Right? No, it's like now you're looking for more pennies in front of freight trains. It's like we have the solution. We have the solution to this.
I think it's also he's the guy who can help people get their money back. So it's, I guess, like, what choice do you have? If you lost all your money in Celsius and like he's the only guy who's like isn't he involved with the stuff? Like he's the lawyer or whatever.
Yeah, he's involved with that, but it's like at the same time, simultaneously, he's trying to funnel people to salt lending, which
right, yeah. And I think he invested in Celsius and funnel people there. So it sucks to the people involved because it's like they have to like look to him to be their savior in a way now, I guess, because they're like, oh, hopefully I can get my money back, and like this guy's my only hope in a way. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, it's probably very emotional for people who lost a bunch of money, and then you have this guy who's like, oh, we're doing everything we can, you know, we're gonna help. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Nice. It's just more pennies in front of freight trains, more trusting people who, like, I don't know. He's probably more interested in getting his own money than everyone else's. Or
so when will people learn? That's the question. When will people learn that there is a way to earn yield without giving your keys up?
Dude, there's always going to be scammers in everything, you know what I mean? Like, so people are always going to be getting scammed.
It's true.
It's just, hopefully people learn. The smart people will hopefully learn from their mistake. Hopefully there's new people who will learn without making the mistake. And then, I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, in a perfect world, no one gets scammed, but yeah, it'll probably just happen again. And I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. It's very unfortunate. Let's go check out this. What do you think about this over here?
Oh my god. It's true. Yeah, it's upside down. Everything's upside down. The world is upside down.
Yeah. It's crazy. And a lot of Bitcoin maxis were encouraging and, you know, sharing links to these things like Celsius, like BlockFi, like Voyager. And honestly, it's so crazy how the problem is like never where you thought it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so
everyone got bamboozled.
Yep.
It's like the kids like who get straight A's and then they go to college and they graduate and then they're like broke for all their life and they're like, what the heck? I did everything I was told to do. You know, where's my 401k? And it's like, oh, sorry, that thing kind of, you know, didn't work out.
Yeah.
Which seems like could maybe be the future. So it's like a lot of things in life. It's like, oh, I did everything right. Oh, my back hurts. The doctor told me to take this pill and now I'm addicted to heroin. Like that shit. You know you get what I'm saying with that? Like they prescribe opioids to people and it's like, oh, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. There's so many just examples like that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I agree with you. And now another thing I wanted to bring up was Mr. Wonderful.
He looks like a freaking like English. Like, what are the glasses, man? He's about to give me a D on my English paper.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Mr. Wonderful was on Rand Nuno.
He's asking me where my hall pass is. He looks like.
He does. He does.
If
Can you
SPF
hear?
knocked on your door again and said, look, I failed in my last venture. I have a new crypto venture. I need money.
Can you hear?
Back him?
Yeah, I can hear it.
It's a great question. No one's asked me yet. I think we can all admit, you can love him or hate him given what's happened, but he was one of the most brilliant traders in the crypto universe.
You're a robot?
He also built one of the most
Little
robust
bit
platforms.
AI.
We used FTX actively. It was a very robust platform. It allowed us to get information on a compliant basis. So I really like what he built.
He likes what he built.
Would you back him?
The answer would be yes.
The answer is
If
yes.
SPF
That was so weird, dude.
Yo, this guy literally, is this like what, Stockholm syndrome?
It was like Ex Machina, where the AI is like the face is completely still, and he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Is he a real
weird.
person?
That looked like some AI robot stuff to me, man. That was pretty weird.
No, but like let's like break the guy. How much money did Kevin O'Leary lose with FTX? And he's talking about him like he's a brilliant trader. First of all, how does anyone know he's a brilliant trader? Like, I guess he was doing arbitrage trading. He was one of the first people to do that, supposedly. I don't even know if that's true. I don't know if that's even true because there's been the same prices across exchanges before. There had to have been people arbitraging because the prices were pretty similar across exchanges before he came to the space. Unless it was him who was doing it, I don't know. But
yeah, I don't think you're a genius trader just for arbitraging. It's like buy here, buy cheap here, sell high, sell more expensive here. Like, I feel like train a fucking monkey to do that.
I know.
Click button here, click button here, done. So I don't know.
He wasn't such a good trader with that FTT token. He went irresponsibly long.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they had like weren't they trading against their customers? They could see what everyone was doing and were like, it seems like they had like an open playbook and like an open cheat sheet. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. So you see this guy, Kevin O'Leary. I don't know. Did you watch Shark Tank? I used to see him on Shark Tank. He was the main guy. He was like the Simon Cowell of Shark Tank.
Yeah, I used to watch some Shark Tank. It was
yeah,
cool, I thought.
Yeah, it was. So this guy comes in and says Bitcoin's garbage. It's a scam. It's not going anywhere. When Bitcoin was in the bear market, price goes up. So now he loves Bitcoin. Now he's investing in Bitcoin and all these other tokens. You know, he's all over the television. And this guy runs a fund, so he would be considered the smart money, the institutional money. And then he invests in FTX and gets screwed essentially, and says he would. So he gets screwed by buying the top on Bitcoin, and he gets screwed by getting all his money gone, like spent from FTX. Basically, he has no more money there. I mean, we'll see if he could get it back in the future. And it's like, I mean, you basically see the market psychology playing out in one of the, so to speak, like professionals, the smart money, the institutions. And it's like, he got caught up in the euphoria like everyone else. It's like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I wonder if they actually did get caught up in the euphoria or if they are like playing the game, you know, like saying one thing, but actually doing the opposite. But I don't know. I guess it's like the only chart you'll ever need in crypto, like Richard Hart says, the Dunning-Kruger. So like these guys think they were good in traditional world, that they can come into the crypto world and know everything, and they get wrecked. So I don't know.
They get wrecked.
But I suspect a lot of guys are just playing the game. They're saying what people want to hear, doing the opposite, but maybe they're not. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed, I don't know, would that would kind of be, wouldn't that be a little illegal? I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean, if you're rich, it's hard to break the law sometimes when you're really rich, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But then he wants to invest in Bankman-Fried again. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, if he is, maybe Sam Bankman just has this magnetic aura around. You meet him in person, you're just like, this guy's got it, you know. What I suspect maybe is like this Kevin O'Leary guy. He knows Sam Bankman. There's probably a lot of people who would invest in Sam Bankman again because that's just how people are, right? Like I see, like Altcoin Daily, it's like, yeah, let's give it a second chance. I believe, it's like Do Kwon and Luna Classic. All right, guys, we're going again, and people are like,
Round two.
It's
round
like,
two.
yeah. So honestly, he probably know if Kevin O'Leary. I mean, I'd assume he'd be in on the ground floor of whatever SBF does the second time. So he knows, oh, if this kid puts something else out, even if it freaking fails, I'll 10x my principal instantly, take out, 90% and let the rest ride. And if he fails again, who gives a shit? Because I just made a bunch of money.
Well, that's what they were saying about Luna. I mean, the new Luna. People were saying it was VC exit liquidity. Like they just give it to them and they could sell it.
Right.
As to whether or not
Probably,
that's true.
I mean, it's just how the world works. It's like the big banks get bailed out, the big players get bailed out, and it's like we get fucked.
Oh, speaking about that, I had another thing to show you. I don't know if I got to get your reaction to this.
Oh my God, I saw that, dude. I'm pumped. I'm super excited for this. But we're gonna live stream the tape, right? We're gonna live stream.
No.
Premiere. We're gonna premiere.
I want to stay on YouTube. Uncensorable. It's decentralized. It's on the blockchain.
I wonder if it's a troll or if it's actually like gonna happen. That yeah, it's gonna be funny to see. That's for sure. If it's real.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like if you look at like Sam Bankman-Fried, he looks like a nerd grown in a petri dish. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna make a really smart looking, guy. Like he has the afro. He's like short. He's got the sweatpants. He talks fast.
Yeah. Honestly, though, he eats a cucumber like it's an ice cream cone. Like, they're like, oh yeah, this is perfect. He wears cargo shorts and drives a Corolla. We've got him. It's like the kid you went to high school. It's like the smart kids in high school. It's like they got the Corolla and the cargo shorts.
Yeah, and I guess that really gravitates money towards him. The guy's a little bit like he's like the golden goose. He got Tom Brady, he got Giselle, he's got who else was on those FTX? He's got the Miami Heat, he's got who else does he have? Stephen Curry.
Yeah. Yeah, it is nuts.
That is
what I was gonna say, but continue. Sorry.
No, it's really crazy. So what do you think do you think it's more likely that Gemini goes under than stays solvent and backed?
I guess with everything going on, it would be more likely that they went under, but apparently, maybe it's just the Genesis stuff. The Gemini earn is messed up and they're fine. I always thought like they must be one of the best or rigid follow the rules exchanges because they're in New York, but also because the Bitcoin Billionaires book, it kind of they were the guys in the early days of Bitcoin who were like, let's do things by the book. They were in the middle of the cypherpunk according to the book, all the cyberpunk libertarian guys were like, fuck the government. This is freedom. We're doing it. And the Winklevi twins were like, hey, let's go right to the government and explain to them how this works, and let's see how we can do it properly. And in a way, it's like I get both sides of it. So to me, it seems like they are so by the book, like Harvard. We need to do things right, you know. They're these big buff guys. When Mark Zuckerberg stole Facebook, they didn't go like beat his ass. They were like, we're taking him to court. And like they were like, we're going to, the justice system's going to do it for us. Like, and they, I guess, got screwed over in their eyes. And Mark Zuckerberg, won the case. I think I can't remember. I think but like they're very by the book guys. So like I'd be surprised. I think if they were, I don't know. But I guess they could still be doing things by the book and legally by the book and still go insolvent, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's in New York. It's like, I don't know.
No financial person in New York has ever made a bad decision. So I'd be really shocked.
Yeah, but crypto, all bets are off. Well, wait, wasn't Bernie Madoff in New York?
I know. It's a joke.
Oh. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, they were pretty big. And I don't know. What do you think this means for Coinbase and Binance?
I don't know, man. I guess we're just gonna have to see. Honestly, I'm always like optimistic. I think things will be fine. I don't have money on any exchange. I don't think people should have any money on exchanges just sitting there. So, but I think we're like in the midst of the chaos, and we just got to see how things play out. And it's going to be one of those things like it's going to be hindsight or whatever. We just don't know right now.
Yeah, but the good news is there is a solution. There is a solution to people leaving their money on exchanges or lending platforms, to look for yield. In fact, you could get more yield.
More yield?
Not financial advice. Get a higher rate of return and you delay gratification, meaning you save yourself from selling early and things like that because of the time lock promise. And it's all trustless, and it really teaches you to use crypto as it was intended, for the right reasons. And I don't know, this should be like talked about all over these mainstream YouTube channels. Like there is somewhere to go. There is somewhere safe where people aren't going to just screw you. But for some reason, it still seems like it's being gatekept. What do you think about that? Is Hex still being gatekept?
I guess so. I mean, the mainstream crypto sites only seem to write about it when it was like the SEC subpoenas were going out. So,
Yep.
And I think CoinMarketCap doesn't have it listed correctly. So, yeah.
It really makes a lot of sense why, let's say, regular YouTube crypto influencers wouldn't want to talk about it, because they are getting referral links from exchanges. They're getting commission on trading, and Hex makes you not trade. And if you're an exchange, right, you're Binance, you make money off people trading. Whether they win or lose, you get the fee. And then you have this project that if people use it, and it achieves mainstream adoption and it really breaks through into the mainstream. I mean, do you see these trading platforms being successful in a world where Hex is at its rightful spot on the CoinMarketCap board, where people could really get easy access to it? I mean, because like so much of their revenue is based on leverage trading and fees and things like that. Like that's really the question. Can you see a scenario where these crypto exchanges could remain solvent and backed one-to-one and profitable if people aren't trading?
I don't know. I think so. I think they could still make money off the fees of people getting in and out and stuff like that. Like, I'm happy to pay for like good service. So like if I got to pay fees to get in and out of crypto because someone's offering me the service to be able to do that, that's fair. So I think they could still make money. But Yeah, you're right. I mean, these influencers too, they don't really have an incentive to talk about Hex because I think it makes people dislike you because Richard Hart is so polarizing, and it's like a lot of people in the crypto space. I think they don't tend to side with him because he's so like brash and he attacks everything you think you know. Because a lot of the stuff you think you know about crypto, you find out from him is wrong. So you have this guy who's coming in, and he's like, actually, all this is wrong, and you're like, oh, I thought I knew so much. And I think I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the modern day of social media and everything. It's just people don't like being told they're wrong. I guess people don't like feeling inferior. Like they want to be like, I know, like I know. And then you're like, and all these other people agree with me, but those are the same people getting wrecked on centralized exchanges. It's like people would rather be right and wrecked than like, realize they're wrong and not get wrecked. It seems like.
Yeah, pride.
Oh.
That's why he said everyone thinks they're smart, but they're not. They're only smart enough to be dangerous, and that's why you need someone who's actually smart like me to come in and and set things straight. That was like one of the greatest things I ever heard. It's like everybody thinks they're smart, and they're probably not smart. They're not as smart as they think they are, and they end up destroying themselves.
Yeah. I think too, like, I don't know, like there's a weird agenda against, I don't know, people like him where he's very like, I don't know, straightforward. People shy away from that these days in some ways. People don't like that. They'd rather him be like, oh, yeah, hey guys, like, and he's like, listen to me, I'm right, like this is it.
But the world's
Or
largest
like,
diamond.
yeah, it's like people are like, stop being mean to me. It's like, I don't know,
Yeah. And it's very unfortunate, but I don't know. It kind of takes that kind of person to really say it like it is, like that. I think you can't really disaggregate, the straightforwardness from Richard, or else he wouldn't be who he is. He wouldn't have gotten where he's gotten. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And I think there are people who speak like Richard who don't have the right to. Like there could very well be an idiot who speaks the same way Richard does. But it's like he hasn't earned the right. Like Richard, he comes off very cocky and very arrogant, but it's like he's earned the right to be cocky and arrogant because he does know more than like most people in the crypto space. Like
Yeah.
he has earned the right to be like if Michael Jordan is being an asshole and he's like, I would beat your ass on the basketball court, you'd be like, yeah. But if some random guy you've never met before you're like, oh, that guy's such a cocky, arrogant. He works at the grocery store, but he acts like he's like the best basketball player in the world. You'd be like, why is this guy such a cocky, arrogant person? But like, you have to earn that right, I think. So like, I don't necessarily like, yeah, there's such a thing as being an asshole and being cocky, but like, I think he's earned the right to be able to like have that confidence and have that like cockiness.
Yeah, that's why he's been like trending on Twitter. Richard Hart was trending on Twitter. I think it's only a matter of time until this thing really takes off. I don't see how far really the gatekeeping could go, especially when the gatekeepers end up getting wrecked and getting their followers wrecked. But I don't know. Do you think people will be able to see through this gatekeeping? Because I don't know. Sometimes I sort of lose faith in humanity. Like there are things that are so obvious, but nobody could see it.
I think definitely. I mean, all the metrics are going up. More people are staking. More people buying and selling. More holders. I think it just takes time, but I think that was by design. I think Richard Hart. I think that's all honestly been by design. Like he purposely has like he even said like he's marketed it as a scam because that's how you save people from scammers. Because like I said earlier, like, and I got it from him where like regulators come in after the scam has happened. They say they arrest the people who did the scam or they don't, like we're seeing. And then but people still lost money. So he said it makes sense. Like the only way to save people from scams is to market something as a scam. And with that comes, everyone pushing it away. But then it's like it makes it more special for the people who got in early. Like the venture capitalists aren't getting in early. The typical guys who all these coins get listed on centralized exchanges, and it's a bunch of basically like big money venture capitalists. The exchanges they just buy up all the token supply, and then you're playing their game. They're basically going to do what they want with that chart, and so I think it's all by design, and I think it's he's like the crypto space is so new and it's so small. It's like he's like, I'll just make my own I'll just make my own and make it bigger, like eventually, you know?
Yeah.
And when you think about it like that, it's like, why does he need all these people? Like the world is so freaking big, and there's such a little amount of the population in crypto. Why does he need all these rent? Like, I guess he really doesn't. When you think about it.
I think they're eventually going to go to him. I think ultimately what really breaks the gatekeeping, what really pierces through the noise and like the unclarity, it's just mad gains. I think if like the price goes up a lot, everybody gets interested. If does a 10,000x and then they say it's a scam or whatever, or there's still gatekeeping, but people are getting rich. And when people see other people getting rich, they want to get rich too. They don't want to miss out. And I think they really start to FOMO. I think that's sort of similar to what happened to me. And I think that's really ultimately what's going to do it. I think right now, basically, you have like Richard goes into the spaces with 15, 20,000 people, and all these people that never seen him before are like, wow, what he's saying is very interesting. But I don't know if that's enough. I think that's enough to get a follow and maybe to get added to their watch list on Coinbase or Binance or something like that, where they're looking at the price. But they still don't want to go after it because the chart's down, and then the chart's up. Oh, interesting. And then they really start participating more. They see more of his live streams, more of other Hex streamers' live streams, like, oh, wow, this really makes a lot of sense that there's such great performance. It really makes a lot of sense that this is, the like you say, the thing, the thing before it's the thing. And then they start buying, and then that's really what drives the price up like crazy. And even if they bought the top, the great thing is they're going to learn to delay gratification. They're going to be earning yield the entire way, like throughout the bear market, essentially basically buying the dip every night at 8 p.m., getting more money or, buying more T-shares. And then eventually they can make it. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. What do you think about what I said?
I agree completely, man. Yeah, like there's probably a lot of people who are just hearing about Richard. They're saying, wow, I really like what this guy's saying. Oh, he has a coin. They go see the coin. They're like, oh, it's down. They're like, well, I'm going to stick with like, Bitcoin and Ethereum because, that's what everyone's saying and it's safe, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they put in a little bit of money or whatever. And they're like, just forget about it. But yeah, that's the best marketing tool is the price going up, it seems. So like, yeah, I bet so many more eyes are on him now than before. It's pretty exciting actually. And I can already like I agree completely with what you said. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out of the woodwork as someone who like bought now. Like maybe there are some. I mean, he was on the Jordan Belfort podcast. He was on the Valuetainment, not with the main guy, but
Patrick Bet-David. That's
yeah. It'd be cool if he goes on with that guy. But yeah, he was on the Sauce Cast, I think it's called. I really liked that interview. But yeah, man, I just think it's gonna be. Yeah, I think the gates are gonna fall.
The gates are gonna fall.
I think the wall's crumbling.
Yeah, the walls are crumbling.
It's similar to like Bitcoin when it started and was trying to break into like the traditional finance. That's how I kind of like to compare it. It's like now Hex is here. The mainstream crypto is like, whoa, we don't like it. It's a scam. But then eventually it's going to be like, oh yeah, Hex, like, yeah. So I don't know.
There's nothing new under the sun. It's like the same way that Bitcoin played out. That's why it was such a good movie for me. The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. It was the same misunderstood technology that everybody was downplaying, and the people that were in it knew that they were in on something big.
Dude, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. So what I was saying is that yeah, like the same thing's sort of playing out, and seeing him get 20,000 new followers. I mean, think about that really, and that compounds because all those new followers see his tweets and they retweet it, and then all their followers start to see those tweets. It really, there's a huge trickle down effect. But I think a big problem is that it's hard to understand. So when you hear about something like 38% APY, that something like that was not possible until blockchain technology happened, where there's trustless minting of coins for following the smart contract. What do you think about that? Do you think people will be able to understand that? I think that's a big thing that really turns normies off, is they see such a high yield being paid and they don't understand how blockchain works.
I think a real normie doesn't even know what that means. They're just like, oh, Hex, people are talking about it. Like, they don't know what a 38%, whatever means. But yeah, I mean, I was excited because the Blockchain Billionaire book, the Winkle, one thing that gave me so much conviction once I really understood Hex was how in that book they were talking about they were like way early. I forget, but it was one of the big price dumps when it dumped from like 100 to something. Nice to see Maddie Allen in the chat. Just
Maddie. Smart Volt got me. No, timepays.me.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Thank you so much, Maddie, for checking.
Yeah, thanks, Maddie. But anyway, in the book, they were like, they understood Bitcoin, they understood the technology, and they were throwing like hundreds of millions. They were buying as much Bitcoin as they possibly could in the early days. And like people were like, these guys are crazy, because they were basically ostracized from the Silicon Valley community because of Mark Zuckerberg. No one wanted to take their money because Facebook basically ran the Silicon Valley community. So if Facebook heard that your startup took money from the Winklevi twins, you were dead in the water. Like, they wouldn't support you because everyone wanted to be bought out by Facebook, according to the book. Like I've said before, the book is kind of like the Winklevi twins are like the heroes of the story. But basically in that book, it was like they knew this was awesome. They knew it was great technology, and they understood it before everyone else. It's like they had that conviction where they were like, we are educated on this. We know it's going to do well. Like, this is the moment. Like, let's freaking go for it. And that's how I felt with Hex in a lot of ways,
Yeah, every movement has its time, and you really can't stop it from happening. I think there is gatekeeping, but it's only inevitable, especially considering the things that Richard Hart said played out like prophecy. It's a little bit chilling, but it's legit playing out like prophecy. You have Richard Hart was right trending. You have every Twitter space that he goes into has 15, 20,000 followers. You have people with millions and millions of followers just sitting there attentive, listening, wanting to hear what he has to say. And I can't see it playing out otherwise, but obviously we don't know. None of this is financial advice.
We'll know he's made it when the big, like the Times writes a hit piece on him.
Yeah.
When he starts getting recognized by the mainstream, not just the crypto media, the mainstream.
The mainstream media,
hopefully
but hopefully not.
Yeah, it just seems the way things go.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Is there any questions from the chat? We got 18 watching before we wrap it up. And Maddie, thank you so much for checking in. So grateful to Maddie. He is one of the best streamers, if not the best streamers in the space, and he helps people out in so many ways, not just crypto and things like that. He helps out with mental health and self-help, things like that. And Hex therapy is very helpful in very many ways, is what I'd say. And he was so kind to come on for my first interview, which was awesome. So thank you, Maddie.
Shout out to Maddie.
Shout out to Maddie. I guess there's no questions from the chat, but thank you guys all for watching. This was the first live stream. Any closing thoughts, Ben?
We're all here together. We're gonna get through it. We're like I was saying, we're at the. Oh, someone just asked a question. Do you want to take it?
I don't see it. Oh, Yeah, well, it's basically essentially it's multifaceted. You have on the one hand, so there's two things. So there's one hand, as somebody who buys crypto, like the biggest threat to you is yourself. Essentially, people that don't have a lot of money and they need money when the price goes up a lot, they sell and they miss out on the hundreds, if not thousands, of X's that come after that. Or they also might just sell when the price goes down because, you know, they panic that it dropped. But if you're in on the right crypto, I mean, the way it's been, and I think the way it'll continue to be, not financial advice, is it will go up over time. I think the good projects go up over time. So with Hex, you have the time lock implemented, where basically you promise, you make a commitment to how long you're going to lock up, and based on that, you get yield, and you get penalized if you sell early, which really allows people to benefit from the hundreds and thousands of X's they'd otherwise not have gotten. So basically, a lot of that is Maddie's implementing that game theory to Pulse and pulseX. So people won't sell early. You're not going to get yield from inflation, obviously, because there is no inflation. These projects are deflationary, but you do get from the early end, early unlocks, basically, when people don't. So people lock up Pulse and pulseX for a given period of time. Let's say they commit to 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. There's a penalty if you unlock early over 10%, I think, right? And I think that goes to the rest of the people. So you do earn something, and you save yourself from yourself. And also, there is this new groundbreaking technology where it prevents you from getting hacked, right? So you basically have two seed phrases you put in first. Can we send Maddie a link? Here, Maddie, let us know if you want a link. I don't know. I don't want to pop. What do you think? So you could basically, you get a note. You have to wait 7 days until you.
Yeah, I have a video about it where Maddie wrote a tweet thread, and then I have a video where I go through the tweet thread.
All right, so check out Ben's video on that.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool thing, though. You can time lock your Pulse and pulseX, basically, for up to 30 years. And there's cool features, like Furu was saying, like a reverse a hack.
Reverse a hack.
Yeah, and then but go check out the video if you want to on my channel. And subscribe if you want to as well.
And yeah, subscribe to Ben's channel at Ben Dubard. Follow him on YouTube, Instagram, and check out his website. Ben, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, like I was saying, I hope Richard keeps going in the Twitter Spaces. I think he's gaining a lot of followers like that. Hopefully, he's realized that, and he'll keep doing it. That'd be cool. That was hilarious. That guy was in there today.
Oh, can I play that? I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, yeah. If someone hasn't seen that, then oh my gosh,
it's in my DMs from you.
Oh, nice. That was so funny.
Here we go.
I know plenty of people who got burned on Hex as well, my friend. So maybe you should tread lightly.
Yeah, but there's shit you can't. Price volatility is not something you can program out of a speculative instrument. I know people that got wrecked on Facebook. I know people that got wrecked on Amazon. Speculative instruments have price volatility. You can't program that away. 100% perfect flawless operation with 100% uptime is what Hex has. And guess what? It's not what Gemini has. We're at 100% uptime. Gemini isn't. Our shit works perfectly for 3 years, and no one else's does.
Well, Gemini has segregated client accounts, and that's enforced by the tightest regulation in the world.
Yes, yes, I know, but you're repeating me to me. The bit license is very strict. I know, which is why so few companies have them.
Right. So one thing that
you have stock in Gemini or some shit, or do you suck the Wicklevi off in your weekends, or like what's the deal? Why do you like these guys so much? Or just another shit exchange with no liquidity?
Watch your language.
No, fuck you. I'll use whatever language I want. Suck my balls, kid. I'm an adult. I'll speak however I like.
You're speaking like a
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to control my language?
Right. So let me explain something about Hex for all that are listening, because people are already DMing me going, "Who's this Richard?"
For all those who are listening.
It's very simple. Hex is a Ponzi scheme. It's a very clear and blatant Ponzi scheme. They have basically advertised outrageous percentage gains promised to their users without any sort of disclaimer.
That's completely false. That's completely false, guys. Don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to this guy. Don't listen to this guy. Dude, are you serious? Are you serious?
On black cads in London, dude, with my own eyes.
Every single user that uses its own seed phrase interacts with a contract that no one owns, no admin keys, and we generate our own yield off of it.
I'm talking about the advertisement.
No one actually
gains promised to users. This is a red flag.
Please be quiet.
You cannot promise 5,000% gains to a user.
They're not promising 5,000 gains.
I've seen it. Don't fucking lie to me. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Stop.
Advertisements that say buy Hex and get 5,000% gains. Black cads in London.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time. One at a time. This is not the Royal Rumble, man.
No, but I'm like,
hey, can I tell you what the black caps
No, let me speak for 10 seconds and then you can say whatever the fuck you want because you're a dirty fucking mouth already.
Oh, now he's watching his language.
Calculate your own APY dependent on how many people or supply is dependent on how much they're supplied currently. So
Ponzi-nomics, dude. Ponzi-nomics. If you use money from the new people to pay off the old people, that's how Ponzi works, asshole.
Money from everyone else. Then you have to call Bitcoin a Ponzi. You have to call your housing market a Ponzi.
No. Bitcoin is an asset.
All right. You know, I invited Richard here to go ahead and speak about the markets. Richard, go ahead and take the mic, and then Maddie, if you want to have a rebuttal, go for it. There's not, again, I'm not.
Gockstein.
Yeah, that was good.
No, that was great.
I was laughing so hard when I was listening to it live. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, some people just don't learn, but bullish on Hex. All right. Guess we could leave it at that. Ben, thanks so much for coming on. First live stream. And thank you all for watching and everyone that commented. We appreciate you. Hex Squid, Psychological, Jerry,
thanks everyone in the chat,
and Abbott.
Jerry,
got to check out his channel.
I hope Jerry ended up liking the video.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure.